I think it's really hard to get a lot of meaning out of these verses or to see those metaphors that are kind of woven into these sections if you don't know the geography of the area. So similar to what we did in the Book of Mormon, remember we did that conceptual map so that we could understand where things were. We did something really similar in the New Testament when we made the Journeys of Paul maps, and I gave you a big version of the church's map so that you could put it on a wall and you could walk your kids through where things are. I think that will help you in church history. Because there's a lot of times when, for example, this week, when you're trying to understand where the elders are traveling from and where they're going to and why St. Louis is in the mix, if you're just reading those words on paper, it can become just a kind of a murky mess. But if you have a map to look at, then all of a sudden things make better sense. So I gave you a few maps this week. This is a teaching tool that you can use in a lot of different ways. The first one, I made a big version, right? So that you could put it on the wall. If you're in a seminary class or something, you could hold it up, but you could show your kids the journey of the saints. I used all of the key cities that the church uses on their church history maps and planted them around so that you can help your kids understand and get their bearings of how far it is. I mean, if you think about going from Kirtland all the way to Independence, that's a huge, I think it's like 800 plus mile journey to get there, and then 800 more miles back. And that's if you take a straight course. Remember, they're supposed to take a winding course. So it's going to be a really long missionary journey as they work their way back. But understanding how far apart Independence is from St. Louis will help your kids get a better grasp of what the Lord is asking these elders to do, why they have contention on the water, because it takes days to get across Missouri. That's why they might look for a shortcut road like the Missouri River, because it's going to take forever to get across. So I wanted to give you some tools to show your kids. So there's a larger size. There's also a smaller one that could fit easily in a quad or any standard set of scriptures. And then I wanted to give you one that you could use to help your kids test their knowledge so far. So this one, there's a color version, a black and white version as well, but this is pointing out some key places, not all the cities that are listed on the other maps, but the key movements of the church are listed here in the big numbers. And then even some key events from Joseph Smith's life are listed, where he was born, where Liberty Jail is, where does he die? Like all those things are listed down here so that your kids can use their Doctrine and Covenants to try and populate or label a map. I've taken off all the state names, I've taken off the city names, and they're going to try and figure out with their Doctrine and Covenants where these locations are. But the purpose of this is so that you can talk to your kids about the varying journeys that you see in this week's study. The Lord has different routes for each of these elders to take, but some things are the same. The goals that he has for them and what they're going to accomplish, they're the same. He wants them to teach by the way. The end destination is the same. He wants them all to get back to Kirtland eventually. They each just have different ways to get there. And I think that's really important, especially when it comes to our teenagers as we're trying to teach them that this is the Lord's plan for them as well. They're going to have different roads, different missions, different college experiences, different talents to use. Their routes will be different, but if they commit their hearts to building up the kingdom of God, just like these elders tried to do, the promise is they'll have the protection they need. In all these cities that are listed on the map, you can see the Lord's hand in the saints' lives. No matter where your kids end up or what place they call home, those promises are sure for them as well. And sometimes I think seeing it on a map will help make it feel more real. So hopefully these tools will help you pull that off.